Hey guys, and welcome to the 8th episode of the 12 Days of Switchmas, where I will be talking about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, the game with Miles McKenzie! So you know it's peak! He needs his own spin-off series because he's the best Nintendo character of all time! But in all seriousness though, I'm really enjoying this game so far. It's crazy that we've had to wait 8 years for this game, and I'm so glad that it's finally out. I haven't fully finished the game yet because I've been busy with a lot of stuff this month, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and so far, I would put it slightly above Mario Kart World, which is why it's where it is in this ranking series. I would say it's about an 8.5 out of 10, generally very good overall, but there are a few little flaws here and there, holding some aspects of the game back. And the only Metroid Prime game I've played before 4 is 1, actually both on GameCube and Switch 1 with the remastered version, so that's kind of my gauge for how a Metroid Prime game should be. But I wouldn't say Prime 4 is quite as good as Prime 1. Like, one aspect of 4 is that it's a bit more linear. A bit too linear for my liking, but I don't think it's too much of a detriment, honestly. I just wish there were more areas you could explore, more branching paths, and different areas that kind of connect to one another. I thought that would have been a little more interesting, but I still can understand the vision that they were going for here. But one aspect that I do think is very strong in 4 is both its combat and puzzles. The combat is incredible. I just really like how the enemies are designed here. They're definitely pretty challenging in some aspects. And you could also make use of your new psychic abilities as well. Like, you could use the control beam, which is very fun in boss fights. Like, there's actually some boss fights designed around it, and it is just really cool overall. There were also areas where there's like a ton of enemies on screen, and I thought it was way too difficult, but then I used the control beam, and it was actually a pretty clever way of fighting them. So I definitely think the combat and enemy encounters are designed very well in this game. And another thing that I definitely appreciate is the puzzles. I think the puzzles are very interesting and actually make use of parts of the environment. Like, I like how in Volt Forge, you actually like get into the morph ball and you go in the area where the wheel constructing Viola is kind of like going through, and you get to like take the morph ball through like a little part of like the factory there. It is just really interesting, and I really like how naturally the puzzles are incorporated into each of these areas. One thing that I also think is pretty fun is basically scanning everything in the game. It's something that I also appreciated about Prime 1. It kind of reminds me a lot of tattling in the Paper Mario series, just creating a big collection of everything in the game. It's just pretty satisfying, but I would say I wish they sped up the scanning animation, because sometimes during boss fights it can be a little tricky and tedious, so I just wish that was a little faster there. And just another thing that I love about this game is how beautiful it looks. Each of these environments look absolutely incredible, like Fury Green, Ice Belt, even the desert area looks nice. Just every area in the game has really something interesting to offer. It's just very creative and appealing here. I also like how like the alien creatures that live on the planet have like this very interesting architecture as well, and you kind of get to see that in a lot of the areas too. So I definitely appreciate the art direction here. It kind of strikes a balance between being realistic and also being stylized. I also love how this game looks on the Switch too. The upscaled 4K with 60 FPS looks incredible. You can even get this game to run at 1080p 120 FPS. The fact that there's a first-party Nintendo game that runs at 120 FPS is so surreal. But unfortunately, I don't have a 120Hz TV to test it out on, but it is nice that the option is there. And I also wanted to talk about some of the new aspects of the game, like the bike. And I think the bike is a fun little extra thing in the game. It doesn't really add much, but I don't think it's too much of a detriment. Though I would say, I wish there was a bit more to do in that desert area. Like, I don't mind that it's there, even though it doesn't really add much. I just wish there was just more to do. Because it kind of reminds me of like a hub world, almost like Delfino Plaza from Mario Sunshine, or New Los Angeles from Xenoblade X. Just some little extra missions, or things scattered throughout the desert that just break up the monotony a little bit and just add a little extra. But as it is in the game, it is like a little nice break in between the action when you're going from one area to another, so I really don't mind it too much. And another thing that I don't mind is the NPC characters in the game, like Miles McKenzie. I know I've been joking that Miles McKenzie is the greatest thing since sliced bread, but he's actually not too bad of a character in the game. His mission is only about 15 to 20 minutes, and after that, he only is like a guide character, and you occasionally go to him for upgrades. He really isn't that super annoying, stereotypical Marvel/Forspoken, that happened type character. And the other NPCs in the game are actually written better as well, so I don't necessarily mind their inclusion. I absolutely understand why people would want Metroid to feel more isolated, but for me, I don't really think the NPCs in the game are that much of a detriment at all. But anyways, those are my thoughts on Metroid Prime 4. I'm really enjoying it so far, despite the little flaws that it has. But thank you guys for watching this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!